Selling the nation on Bidenomics got easier for the president this week. Inflation reached its lowest point in more than 2 years. The consumer price index increased 3% over the last year, down from a four-decade high of 9.1% in late 2022. For the past 2 years, Republicans have tried to convince economic-minded voters that Joe Biden and Democrats are to blame for rising inflation, a claim that was easily disproved by the fact that inflation has been a global phenomenon, reaching levels higher than that of the United States in many parts of the world. And while President Biden celebrated this week's good economic news, calling it evidence of Bidenomics in action, The Hill reports the anticipated recession that was supposed to hit this year amid rising interest rates hasn't yet materialized, leaving some Republicans wondering if they need to revise their messaging. Quote, I think it will diminish as an issue over the course of the year if inflation continues to stay down and continues to go down, said Senator Mitt Romney, a Republican senator who requested anonymity to discuss messaging strategy, said the latest inflation data is good news for the Biden administration, and speculated that Senate Republicans may have to recalibrate their message. All right, joining us now is Mark Zandi, chief economist of Moody's Analytics. Mark, good to see you. What's your sense about this recession that we've all been worrying about for over a year now?
Well, I think we have a fighting chance to get through without an economic downturn. I mean, history would say recession risks are high, right? You have high inflation and the Federal Reserve that's raising interest rates aggressively. And if you go back historically when that's been the case, the economy has invariably landed in recession. But, I'll say those four dreaded words. This time feels different to me. There's a lot of differences between now and times past. And it feels like the economy is resilient enough to make its way through. And, those job numbers you mentioned earlier are pretty good. They're, still strong enough to keep the economy moving forward, but slowing sufficiently to bring in that rate of inflation. So I think we're in a pretty good spot, and I'm feeling much better about the prospects of avoiding recession here going forward.
So, look, it's fair to remember we haven't dealt with meaningful inflation in the United States in a very, very long time. And when you hear about inflation, you worry about it. But there are some places in the world where the inflation is runaway and wages are not even close to keeping up. We have had a couple of years in which inflation has been stronger than wage growth, higher than wage growth, but there has been wage growth, and one feeds the other. The idea that people are earning more and unemployment is low means that people continue to buy things even when they are more expensive. How does that help create resilience in the economy? And has that played a role? The fact that we've got low unemployment with higher interest rates at the same time.
Yeah, you make a good point. I mean, we have had high inflation, and up till, I'd say, 6-9 months ago, that inflation outpaced wage growth. So that's not good, obviously, because that's cutting into people's purchasing power, and it slows the economic activity. And that's one reason why the Federal Reserve was raising interest rates as aggressively as they had been raising rates. But more recently, because of the slowdown in inflation, as you pointed out, CPI inflation, consumer price inflation is now down to 3%. Wage growth is actually stronger than inflation. So that means so-called real wage gains. People's purchasing power is now improving. And that's a really good, obviously a very good thing, a very positive development. It means that they have the ability to continue to spend. And the American consumer is the key to all of this. They're the firewall between recession and continued economic growth. And if they get real wage growth, if they get wages above inflation, they're going to continue to spend, and the economy is going to continue to move forward.
Right. A recession is a sentimental thing as much as it's a mathematical thing. It's July 14th. The UPS Teamster Union contract expires on July 31st. They've taken a vote, and they're in a position to strike on August 1st. The company maintains that they're hoping that's not going to be the case. I think there hasn't been a strike at UPS since 1997 or 2007, something like that. It's 340,000 people. That's the biggest employer of Teamsters in the country. That's the kind of strike that has an economic impact. What are you thinking about this?
Yeah, it could. I mean, obviously, we saw the ill effects of, supply chain, so-called supply chain disruptions during the pandemic. That's one of the key reasons why inflation took off here and globally. And, continues to be a problem in certain parts of the economy, like the vehicle industry. One reason vehicle prices remain as high as they are is because supply chains continue to be disrupted. And, the UPS strike would be an example of, further disruption to supply chains, and would be, a problem for inflationary pressures. Now, I think in the grand scheme of things, this is too small to be that big a deal, and hopefully it doesn't last very long if there is a strike. But these are the kinds of things that add to the inflationary pressures that we're suffering through.